Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new GunPla review. This time we are looking at the RX-121-2 Gundam TR-1 Hazel 2, because Advance of Zeta has weird names for its mobile suits. This is the first major Advance of Zeta kit I'm looking at, if you're not going to count the GM Quel. And frankly, a lot of the Advance of Zeta kits are kind of walled behind P Bandai and sell out very quickly. So I'll get to these kits as I can. Thankfully, the Hazel 2 was a standard release. The Hazel 2 aesthetically does look pretty cool in my opinion. You got that great Titan's coloration with the dark blue, and then these added on gray parts that look fairly decent and give it its crazy backpack. The big problem with this kit, of course, is the absurd amount of stickers that are required. We have stickers for the eyes, we've got stickers on the chest, stickers on the waist for the little dealy there, stickers on the ankles, stickers on the shield, stickers on the guns, stickers on the headpiece up here, and the alternate headpiece, in addition to some thruster stickers back here, and stickers on this big honkin' thruster guy as well. There are a lot of stickers for this kit, which does kind of deduct from the overall ranking of its aesthetics. Just to get an idea of how many there are, here is the foil sticker sheet. It's quite a few. But if you don't mind stickers, or you don't mind a lot of hard work painting, this can be a very, very pretty kit. But it's not just what it looks like, it also matters how flexible it is. So let's take a look at the flexibility next. Alright, let's take a look at the flexibility. Starting with the feet, we got some down, we got some up. Ooh, wow, that's a lot of up. We got some round and round, not too bad. A little armor barely, no, oh, there it goes. Barely moves, but it's very tight. I wouldn't even risk it. As for the knee, oops, got in the way of the booster. And knocked the booster off completely. Yay. And you know, the knee is pretty darn good right there. Some nice kind of joint to there. Pop up the front skirt easily enough, and boom. Some great front kick. And parts are falling off everywhere, although this is the extra ammo pack that you can also slot onto the side there, even though it's not equipped with its gun. Not a lot of side kick. And be careful with the side skirts because the little ammo packs can slip off. So for the body, some decent back, decent front, torso twist, not too bad. For the arms and the shoulders, this big backpack is basically going to prevent everything, though it does have some movement there. Can rotate your arm if you're careful. It almost popped out of the shoulder there. Shoulder part doesn't move, and the arm popped off. Wow, this thing's just going to lose all sorts of points, but okay, there you go. And there's the elbow, so the elbow's nice, and the hand's wobbly and stays in, so that's cool. Big backpack things, I said those move. The head has forward movement, back movement, a little bit of side to side, but the giant backpack does get in the way. And speaking of the giant backpack, it does have this part here, which does have a flexibility of its own. So yay! But, and I'm not sure if it's my kit, there are some problems with parts sticking together, which has already made my unit look like it's in the junk heap. That in and of itself does hurt this kit quite a bit. It might look cool, but if it can't hold together, there's a problem. As for gear, we get a pretty good amount of it. First off, we have the standard shield. It's right here. It has no real gimmicks or anything. It's just a shield. But it's cool. If you don't like the standard shield, you have the booster shield. It is bigger, it is heavier. There's a little connector thing here for the arm, and a different connector thing depending on the type of shield connector you're going to use. This can also be used in turning this kit into a different variant of the Hazel if you have a second one of these guys. and some ingenuity. Since I already have a separated arm right now, we can take a look at the beam saber right there. It's kind of cool. It has a blade. There's also a second handle that I think is slightly different in terms of design, and I have no idea what that means, but there are a few of those slightly variant design things in this kit box. If you're not into melee, there are firearm options. We have this rifle right here. Standard handle, little scope sticker there. Kind of simple, but it's always nice to have a beam rifle type option. Or you have this gun. It has a really odd design. The handle here, ammo pack here, and of course there are spare ammo packs that can connect to the waist, and a sticker right there for the scope. Not sure how fond I am of this design. I think it looks a little bulky and odd, but again, it's going to be up to you what type of gun you prefer. You do have some alternate pieces. Here's a spare beam saber body that looks a little bit different than the beam saber we come with. I think it might actually be a spare part for something else. Alternatively, we also have a different headpiece you can use. So the fin here is slimmer than it is on the head I chose, and we have a sticker up front for the camera. So you have an option of two different heads, depending if you're doing the early type or the later type. In terms of hands, kind of odd options here. We got a trigger finger and the beam saber hand, and I think that's it. Not a lot of spare hand options. One of the strange things, I would expect a lot of hands here, and we did not get them. Then we have this huge pile of spare parts. I think some of them can be used to transform this kit into other Hazel variants. However, there are no instructions to do that. In addition to that, some parts just feel like parts I used in the building of this kit and could be used as spares for other kits that require these weird parts. And then finally, we have the polycaps. There's only one. It's that weird little round one that I've never used on a kit. I don't know what it's used for, but if you need a spare one, it's here. After more repair work than I care to admit, here he is again in all his glory of all his parts back in place. It really is quite annoying how fragile this kit really seems to be, because if you pull him just a little bit too far or not in the way he wants to go, he will fall apart, despite looking as cool as he looks. It almost feels like it requires gluing on a few pieces and just saying, I'm going to deal with it. Despite that, you get this cool backpack with a lot of movable parts on it. Slot the gun in, looks a little odd. Probably should have put the magazine on the other side. I bet the other gun looks a lot better in its hand, come to think of it. But whatever. So it comes down to a general question of frustration versus aesthetics. This is not a particularly easy build. There's a lot of very finicky parts, and those finicky parts don't like holding together sometimes, as you noticed in the course of the review. In addition to that, all the spare parts is kind of a pet peeve of mine because it didn't really feel like we needed all that extra useless plastic. And I kind of hate it when Bandai dumps that many extra parts on us, especially if they have no discernible use. On the other hand, you get an aesthetically cool looking unit, you get a whole load of accessories, and if you're careful with it, it does have a fair amount of flexibility. Overall, I have mixed feelings on this kit. I wanted to like it, and when I look at it, I just sit there and go, wow, that looks pretty awesome. But as you saw the frustrations of me just trying to work with the kit in this review, there are some problems. In addition to that, it took me several minutes to try to get the arm back together, which required taking a whole lot of stuff apart. And the hands sometimes don't want to hold their weaponry particularly well. And the lack of just hand options isn't that great either. I don't hate this kit, not by a long shot, but man, do the problems really add up. Overall, it's going to be your call as to whether or not you want to add this bad boy to your Titans fleet. I hope this has helped your GunPla purchasing decision. Until next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the tavern.